Hey y'all, so I'm getting ready to leave for work, and I want to show you and talk a little bit about the doggy daycare, kind of show you what my routine is and pros and cons of taking your kind of CORSO puppy or adult to doggy daycare and the dog parks, but more centered on the puppy since I have a puppy now. So, don't they look like they're related? That's Lucia, my gray brindle, and then my male, Ozzy, gray brindle. So, anyways, they're not related. But yeah, so I'm gearing up to go to work, and this is what I do to get out the door. I've showed this a couple times before, but I have this cheap steak. It's called a beef shank, and it has a marrow bone in it. And it's frozen, and I freeze it so that I can reduce the risk of introducing parasites. It takes longer for them to chew, and then also that marrow bone, they chew on that for a while. So that gives me some time to get out the door without them really noticing and introducing any kind of separation anxiety and stuff like that. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna load her up first, and then when I come back, I'm gonna give these bones to our beef steaks to Ozzy, and then one to Tux. And so I'll go do that, and I'll come back and show you. Oh, and it is raining, pouring cats and dogs. I give her this little pig's ear. It really keeps her entertained. She already knows her little spot here in the passenger seat. I made a little bed here for her. She just jumps right up. And that pig's ear, it only works when they're young, because when they're a little bit older, they eat that in 2 seconds. But she chews on that for a good while. And it's cold in here, so I'm going to put the heater on. But I take this little bag of kibble with us. You know, the puppies, they get cold easily, quickly. Sometimes, you know, when I load her up like this and it's cold out, I'll see her start to shiver. So I'm just gonna turn the heat on, put some blankets on for her. They're like, thought you were trying to leave, didn't you? Ozzy, who's hungry? Say, who's hungry? Papa. So this is what I give to Dolce. It's a treat with some like beef paste on it, because she's overweight, so I don't need to be giving her a steak every day. What I'm gonna do is lay these sheets out. Hi, Papa. He's already in position, ready to receive his steak. But yeah, so what I do so that I don't have raw meat on the dog bedding, you know, even though the dog bedding is removable and washable, just to save me from having to wash those, because those take up more space in the washer, I just do these thin sheets, and then I just wash them when I come home every day. And I like this system. It works great. Okay, baby boy. Ozzy. I give the bigger one to Ozzy, because Ozzy will many times swallow that marrow bone and then throw it up later, so it probably doesn't feel good. Papa. Good boy. Probably doesn't feel good sitting in his stomach, so I give him those larger ones. Tux. Okay, Tuxie. Look what I got. Let's rinse it up one more time. Come on, Tux. Good boy, Tuxie. Good girl, don't you sit? Good girl, baby. That's a good girl. Good girl. See this chew? Good girl. Good girl. Give me that chew. Give me that chew. If I try to take it, it makes them want it even more. Okay, good girl. Good girl, baby. I want to eat it. Oh, I'm going to get that chew. Okay. All right, y'all. I think we can leave now. Good girl, Dolce. some lights off. All right, I'm ready to go. Great girl, Dolce. All right, so we are ready to go. I'm gonna get out of here before the dogs notice I'm leaving. Right now they're totally into those frozen steaks. So they haven't even come out to look for me yet, so that's good. Okay, baby. All right, so we'll see y'all in a little bit. I'm gonna take her to her doggy daycare and then head to work. Hey y'all. So I just picked up Lucia from her doggy daycare and went pretty well. So yeah, so we just left work, I picked her up. Her doggy daycare is closer to my work, so I still have about an hour drive to get home with her. So I just let her go pee and offered her some food and she ate a little bit. Anyway, I want to show y'all some of the video that I got from that the dog sitter takes. She'll take some videos and pictures sometimes and send to me throughout the day, which is nice. But I'll link them in here, and wanted to show you why I really like the idea of doggy daycare for certain reasons in the puppy stage. Because you'll see here in this video how she's interacting with these smaller dogs, which she does not have access to outside of this daycare setting right now. So here, let me post it right here. Go get her. Do you love her? Do you love her? Do you love her? Get her, Chits. Get her. Get her. Get her, Chits. Get her. You got the hiccups, girly? What? Get her, Chits. Get her, Chits. Get her, Chits. Get her, Chits. Hey y'all, so I just got home from picking up the puppy from her daycare, and so yeah, it's like I got about an hour drive home. But anyway, I wanted to talk real quick about the pros and the cons of taking your CORSO puppy to doggy daycare, as well as to dog parks. Dolce's telling her to pipe down, not to take her chew toy. I'm just gonna go give her her own, I think. Oh, look at her. She's trying to be sweet, trying to convince Dolce to let her have it. See, Dolce will never snap at her though. Yeah, Dolce will never snap at her. She's just kind of gently telling her, no, this is mine. But anyway, yeah, so some of the pros and the cons of doggy daycare. I'll talk about the cons first. Con is that you really do risk your puppy, sorry, I'm trying to open this, having a bad experience. You know, like, you risk the puppy having a bad experience with another dog. I told the story in a prior video of when Lucia, of when Ozzy got attacked at a doggy daycare, at a different one, which again was at no fault whatsoever of the owner at the time, because I was even there when it happened, you know. So it's something that she and I both were not expecting. So I would just recommend that if you do take them to, or take your puppy to a doggy daycare, just to make sure that all the dogs that will be coming that day have been vetted, that they're watched closely, that they're not gonna be an issue with your puppy. And sometimes it's not foreseeable, like it wasn't in that case with Ozzy. But it is a risk that you take. I just put it out there. It's a risk that you take. You can try and mitigate the risk as much as possible, but there's always going to be that risk. And another con to taking your puppy to doggy daycare, and this goes for doggy parks as well. So all of these apply to dog parks as well. Is that you're exposing them to pathogens where that they may not be vaccinated against, parvovirus being the most important. And so my puppy is not complete with her parvo vaccine. She still has one more left. She's already had 2. So the risk is minimal, but it is still a risk. And ways that you can mitigate that is just to ensure, you know, that the place you're taking her enforces that all the other dogs are vaccinated against parvo as well, and that's usually the case. It usually is. Usually dog parks and not dog park. Usually doggy daycares will have that rule that your dog has to be vaccinated before they're taken there. But so the pros are what you saw in that video. Your dog will have usually hopefully good interactions, as was the case here. And so it's a very great way of socializing your puppy. And so Lucia was learning how to interact with these dogs. And what's very interesting to me is that she's discerning when to play rough and when to be gentle. And so hi Papacito. So you could see in some of my other videos how Lucia will play a little bit rougher with the bigger dogs. You know, she'll bark at them, she'll jump up at them, she'll jump in the mix when they're wrestling. I have to be very careful that she doesn't get hurt, and I watch her closely. But compare that to how she was playing with these smaller dogs, the little hot dog wiener dogs, and you can see a big difference there, how she played with them. Yeah, baby girl. She was very gentle with them. And if it's a really good place like this one, the dogs that she interacts with will teach her, will guide her how to act. And they did in this case. The dog sitter in this case said that she did receive a couple corrections from her little her dogs. She's got the wiener dogs. They give her nice corrections, not very harsh, not overly harsh for a puppy, but enough that the puppy takes that as a learning experience, and she was guided on how to interact with other dogs. So that to me was invaluable. It's just a great form of socialization. But again, there are some risks involved, and it's not completely in your control, of course, because you're not going to be there most of the time if it's a doggy daycare. And you see that she did. She gave her a very mild correction and a little warning and say, "Hey, go, be gentle." Give her a little warning. Said, this is mine. My chew. Oh, Ozzy. I see what happened there. See, the alpha came and took her pig's ear. Oh, that is what happened. I was too busy talking. I didn't see that. But anyway, so that's just kind of the quick and dirty of it. And I will not continue to take her to doggy daycare. As soon as she's old enough to be able to stay at home with the big dogs. I've kind of proofed the house, so there's really not much that she can get into. As you'll notice, see my coffee table here? Yes, the coffee table, this chair, the frame of it's metal. This piece of furniture here is metal. Really the only furniture that she can tear into would be this leather couch. And then, the bar stools have wooden legs. She could potentially chew on that, but some wooden legs there. But she hasn't yet. She has not yet chewed on that. And so I do set up a camera in the home. Look how tolerant Dolce's being. She's climbing all over Dolce while she's chewing on a rawhide. But anyway, yeah, so she's I watch her through the camera from work, and if she goes and grabs one of my shoes, which most of them are put up, or something like that, or if she starts chewing on the couch, I'll yell at her through the camera. That worked well with Dolce when I had first transitioned to Dolce being left alone with the dogs while I was at work, and I was able to catch her while she was chewing on one of my flip-flops. So yeah. There you have some of the pros and cons that I think of doggy daycare. It can be very useful if it's in the right setting. So anyways, hope you all are having a good night. And I don't know how long this video is, but I should probably cut it short before it gets too long so I can upload it. And we'll see you on the next one. Oh, she did get it. See, Dolce's fair. Dolce lets her have it sometimes. But not Ozzy. Ozzy's alpha. Ozzy takes what he wants. All right. Talk to y'all later.